Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Hi, my name is Gavin Newsom, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm the useless piece of shit responsible for your home burning down. So just keep giving me your insanely high taxes and keep voting Democrat so I can keep burning this place to the ground. Thank you.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope all's good wherever you are. The losers on CNN are losing their mind over Donald Trump blaming Gavin Newsom for the disaster that is the California wildfires. Who else do you blame? This guy took the richest, most prosperous piece of land in the country and turned it into war-torn Lebanon. But before I show you these ladies losing their mind, let me play you a small clip of the Joe Rogan experience when Donald Trump was on there. He went on about a 7-minute rant about this, and the libs just buried him about it. Oh, why is he talking about this so much? And turns out he was right about everything. I'm just going to play you a small segment, and then we'll get to the losers of CNN, followed by a clip of Joe Biden and a terrific clip of a Sky News reporter burying the mayor of Los Angeles. Let's go.
They said, we have no water. I said, do you have a drought? No, we don't have a drought. I said, why don't you have no water? Because the water isn't allowed to flow down. It's got a natural flow from Canada all the way up north. Water, more water than they could ever use. And in order to protect a tiny little fish, the water up north gets routed into the Pacific Ocean. Millions and millions of gallons of water gets poured. I could have water for all of that land. Water for your forests. You know, your forests are dry as a bone.
Yeah.
Okay?
Dangerous.
That water could be routed. You know, you could have everything. Oh, not only dangerous, billions of dollars a year they spend on forest fires. And, you know, there's a case with the environment. They're not allowed to rake their forests because you're not allowed to touch it. And all they have to do is clean their forest, meaning rake it up, get rid of the leaves, get rid of, leaves that are sitting there for 5 years. And
we'll certainly get rid of the dead fall.
And get rid of the trees that are fallen
Yeah.
that, are like.
Donald Trump is now weighing in on the horrific fires in Los Angeles County, and he's laying the blame on California's Democratic governor. He said on Truth Social, quote, Governor Gavin Newsom refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snow melt from the north to flow daily into many parts of California, including the areas that are currently burning in virtually apocalyptic way, and saying, quote, he is the blame for this. I want to bring in an exceptional group of reporters here: Tamara Keith of NPR, Leanne Caldwell of The Washington Post, and Nia Malika Henderson of Bloomberg, and of course, CNN. What a day. I want to start with you, Tamara, because you cover the White House, the outgoing and the incoming, obviously. And there's no surprise here that Donald Trump's response to these fires, which are still very out of control, is to blame the Democratic governor. We saw when he was in office the first time around, when there were fires, he blamed him for different aspects, or the other governor for different aspects, including not raking the forest and so forth. Can you just kind of, knowing a little bit about this, put into context, never mind the sort of the politics and the questions of the timing of it, but the substance of his accusation?
Yeah, so what he's talking about is an endangered fish that is at the center of a very long water war in California about how much water can flow out of the delta in Northern California and go to Southern California. Trying to explain water politics in California is almost impossible. It goes back generations, and this tiny smelt is part of it. I think that the larger issue here is that the future president is seemingly trying to start a feud with the governor of a state in the middle of a crisis, a crisis that is being driven by Santa Ana winds, and
the fact that it hasn't rained.
And it hasn't rained. It's been very dry in California. This is a dynamic that has existed in this state forever. And it's why it is a beautiful state, and it is also a state of tragedy repeatedly. I should say I grew up there too.
So, getting to the water component, absolutely. It's not just a California thing, it's an entire Southwest
We have a
thing.
California girl
We
here,
have
we have a Nevada native.
Yes, there are absolutely politics involved in water control and how this water is used in California and elsewhere in these states that are thirsty, are very thirsty. But usually what happens, as we all know, when there is a national and natural disaster is that you reach out to the leaders of the state, you offer them public support and assistance, you say good things about them. Now is usually not the time for politics, but as we all know, we have lived through this once. That is not usually how Donald Trump operates. There had been reporting, even recent reporting, that said that during past natural disasters, when Donald Trump was in office, that he would ask his team how many people supported him in that state and what else they could do for him in order to receive federal funds and federal assistance. So, yeah.
And I just want to say, I did reach out to Governor Newsom's office to see if he wants to respond. It would not be surprising if he didn't. He has a huge crisis on his hands. He was at a press conference last night talking about the gratitude he has from President Biden, still the current president, who has offered federal assistance as much as he needs.
Yeah, and the question is, on the campaign trail, I think it was in October of 2024, Donald Trump was saying that if he got reelected, that he could withhold federal funds from California. Obviously, he has a sort of a feud with Gavin Newsom, a feud with almost every Democrat governor and senator and Democrat in general. And I think the question going forward is, could that happen? Is this something he's going to actually do when he assumes office? Because he does kind of see the federal government and the budget and the monies as his own, as to dole out as he wishes to his friends. And so I think that's the real question going forward. But it is sort of sad that this is the same president we're getting again, that there are no lessons learned. There's no sense that Californians are Americans, right? That they are struggling in these areas. 2 people have lost their lives. These fires haven't been contained at all. It looks like they're probably going to get worse before they get better, and that he doesn't have any sort of empathy and understanding about, over what these folks are going through. People have families there. Not only, you might have families still there. I have family there and friends as well. So it's just sad and still shocking.
Literally, as you're speaking, what we're looking at are live pictures of neighborhoods in LA County burning. I mean, the roof there is literally on fire. And as we heard from local officials, LA officials in the last hour, they just can't contain it. You can see the wind there. You can see how aggressive the wind there. I mean, just talking to people, you've probably been talking to your family there. The Santa Ana winds are so strong and they're so hot that it's impossible for them to contain now. At this point, it is just about taking cover and staying as safe as possible and as far away from that as possible.
Right, and hoping that the coastal layer blows back in eventually. Certainly in fires like this, they are trying to draw lines, but the lines are being crossed by the fire.
Yeah. All right. Well, I assume we'll hear from President Biden at some point. It is definitely odd timing that he is there. As he said to Susan Page, our friend, he is awaiting the birth of his first great-grandchild somewhere in that area.
The bias is unbelievable with these people. You got to blame somebody. Shit flows downhill, and Newsom has been a disaster for that state. Look at the amount of people that are leaving that state, multi-millionaires who you would think. I've been to California. I've stayed in California a decade ago for, about 9 months when I was stationed in San Diego. At the time, a beautiful place to live. Not so much anymore. Let me play you a small clip of Joe Biden, who obviously can't read the room here. Hey, you've lost everything in your life. Your house is burning down, but hey, thankfully, great news. I got a granddaughter. And a based Sky News reporter destroying the LA mayor. This is how you should treat these people. Let's go.
We got this notification yesterday their home is probably burning down. Today, there's a baby still standing. I'm not sure. But the good news is, I'm a great grandfather. as of today. I have a granddaughter, and baby girl, baby boy. So I remember this case for a lot of long research. Thank you.
Press. Very okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Make your way out. Thank you, Press. Thank you so much. Make your way out. Make your way to the cars. Please go this way. Thank you.
Press. We're going out this way. Thank you, Press. We're exiting. Press, we're walking out. Thank you.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Can you back up, boss? Appreciate it.
Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home? Madam Mayor, let me ask you just again, have you anything to say to the citizens today as you return?
No.
They're gonna come.
Ma'am, hold on 1 second.
Madam Mayor, just a few words for the citizens today as you return to deal with the catastrophe.
Can you take this down?
David, as you say, she wasn't very keen to answer any of your questions there. And fire chiefs are also admitting that they just don't have enough personnel to take out the fires.
Yeah, they're fighting all sorts of challenges. They're talking about a water shortage. There are reports of fire hydrant failures. They've been unable to use firefighting aircraft for much of the day due to the smoke that is billowing ominously from the hills where the wildfires are raging. And I suppose despite that political storm, this is, of course, at its heart, a human story, because we've now 80,000 people evacuated. Tens of thousands of others are on standby to be evacuated. 2 lives have been lost in the Eaton fire, which is what's causing the consequence behind us. The city's iconic landscape almost shrouded completely by the smoke. And they're really just taking it one step at a time, hoping at some stage the wind's going to change direction or to die down, and that they're going to be able to get this fire under control.
Guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that thumbs up button for your boy. Consider subscribing to the channel. Help it grow. I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out, everybody.